Folks, the condo market, it's all screwed up. I'll get into that and then the latest home prices and insights for condos across the GTA for week ending July the 10th, 2024. When I stop and I just think about the condo market, my brain is all over the place. So many things that just need to change. The condo market is poised for some big changes. Our mindset towards the whole condo industry. Let me just throw a few things out there. In the not so distant past, buying a condo at cash flow negative made sense. Now, just that statement on its own doesn't make sense, but condo investors were buying condos being cash flow negative every single month because their unit in general was appreciating so much every year. So to be $500 a month cash flow negative, but your unit goes up $30, $40, $50, $60,000 a year in value, made sense to you as an investor, so you did it. And so did many other investors, where the investor is actually the highest, or the, as far as volume goes, the number one buyer of condos. The builder, being a business who's in business to make money, would naturally cater to their number one customer, which was the investor, and they built condos for the investor to get excited about. And so at launch day, when the builder's launching these new condo projects, boom, right away, day one, day two maximum, the building would be sold out. Life was good for the investor. They were making money. Life was good for the condo builder. The end user condo buyer would always struggle and fight, but was prepared to pay whatever it took to buy because there were so few choices and demand was much higher than supply. Fast forward to today. All that's changed. Not changed by a little bit, but turned completely upside down. These condo investors are dumping their condos. It doesn't make any sense to hold on to them anymore. They're cash flow negative still, but more so cash flow negative now. And there is no appreciation for them to look forward to in the near future. So they're holding on to a depreciating asset right now. Why would they? It's an investment, so they're dumping them. And since they were the number one buyer of condos, they're also the number one seller of condos. And there's a ton of condos for sale. The end user buyer, who had a hard time buying before, now has way more choices than they've ever seen. Well, I shouldn't say ever seen, but way more choices than the recent past. But they don't like the choices that they have because they're end users. They're not buying the condo to rent it out, or as an investor would typically buy. They don't like the choices, but that's what's available because that what was sold en masse. So right there is a big issue. The whole mindset as to the type of condos, the size, the layout, it should be catered more to an end user. Is the builder going to make that change? One of the biggest expenses in a condo purchase, yes, it's the mortgage. The mortgage used to be this big. The mortgage payment is now ballooned. And so condo owners are looking for ways of, life is expensive. How do we cut back on expenses? Well, maintenance fees have also ballooned. And there wasn't too much focus on maintenance fees before, but today, with mortgage payments ballooning and maintenance fees, it's, well, how do we cut back? And you can't cut back on maintenance fees because builders were also promoting more and more amenities, more and more features. Builders were finding different ways to compete with each other on amenities, and the buyer back then would also brag about the amenities in the building they just purchased. But today, the same condo owner is like this going, man, my maintenance fees are through the roof. but they searched out the buildings with the most amenities, the best amenities. And today, they don't want them. They don't even use a ton of these amenities, but they got them, and the maintenance fees are higher. So what does that mean? The builders got to start building buildings now with fewer amenities to keep the maintenance fees lower? Just think about that for a second. We're going to promote lower amenities because we're going to promote lower maintenance fees because we have fewer amenities. Is that a sales feature? On top of all this, we're not talking about a speedboat here where the builder can just change their mind right away. We're talking about a massive cruise ship to turn this thing around. Like, these projects are designed 5, 10 years, 15, 20 years in advance sometimes. How do you just build something else? The freehold market, a little bit different. It's easier to build something else, but a condo, it's a whole different story. So I just think condos in general, the market, the way we've been looking at it, the way they're built, the thought process towards the condo, right from the architect, the designer, the builder, to the end user, the purchaser, just needs a total reset as to doing this differently moving forward. And I know moving forward, it's not going to change tomorrow. And here we are today. A ton of condos for sale, 6,000 or so just in the city of Toronto for sale, and a ton of buyers that don't like their choices. Let me know in the comments below what you think. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Up here, there's a link. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Here we go, folks. Let's take a close look at the condo market. I have average sold prices here. We're going to be looking at City of Toronto, York region, and Peel region, condo apartments, not condo townhouses. Let's start with the City of Toronto. So for week ending July 10th, 190 condos were sold. 25 of those were at $1 million or more. Both those numbers, 190 and 25, it's up from the previous week. But keep in mind, the previous week was a long weekend. Sales typically drop during the long weekend, and now they're back up again. So 190 were sold. Average sold price up a bit from the previous week. It's now at $746,000. For a few months now, I've been talking about average prices for condos trending down. But the last week or so, it's starting to maybe go the other way. Compared to last year, 746 is 2% lower year over year. The median price is 6% lower. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average, and prices are gradually, slowly trending down. 190 were sold. 30% of those sold at list price or more. Listings up quite a bit from the previous week. 950 were listed. Available for sale, almost 5,800 condos available for sale. 190 were sold, but 5,800 are available for sale. So 3.3% of all available condos are actually selling every week. Only 3.3%. And months of inventory, sitting at 7 months of inventory. It's down from the previous week, but remember, we said the previous week sales were low, which in turn shoots months of inventory up 7%. When we look back over the 3 months, well, we could see months of inventory trending upwards. Seven months of inventory is very much into the buyer's market category. But that's the whole city. Let's break Toronto down into 9 sections. We said that all of Toronto for condos is 7 months of inventory. Let's look at some of the other areas here. Scarborough, 4.8 months of inventory. Midtown, 4.7 months of inventory. Weston Yorkdale, 3.6. Etobicoke, 7.2. Rexdale, 8.1. Let's look at downtown Toronto. The lion's share of condos are being bought and sold in downtown Toronto. So there are currently, for weekend of July 10th, 2,227 condos available for sale. If 53 are sold, we're basically saying that 2.4% of all condos available for sale are selling. Only 2.4. If you're thinking of selling downtown, you really got to get creative on how you stand out so you could be one of the 2.4. Otherwise, you're part of the other bunch that sits on the market not selling. 9.7 is the months of inventory for downtown. High Park is 9.5. East York, Riverdale Beaches, there's only 3 sold, but months of inventory based on that is over 12 months of inventory. Let's take a look at York Region. 29 condos were sold. None of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price is up from the previous week. It's now $674, but overall prices have been coming down. 674 is 12% lower year over year. The median price is 4% lower. Median price actually seems pretty flat, but average price is trending down, and I'm looking at the dotted line there, the 4-week moving average. 29 were sold. 21% of those were at list price or more. Listings way up from the previous week. We're seeing this as a pattern in most areas across the GTA. Listings climbed up this week versus the previous week. 908 are active listings available for sale. Now, think about that. Only 29 were sold, but there's 908 available for sale. Lots of choices out there. And months of inventory sitting at 7.2 months of inventory. 3 months ago, we were under 3 months of inventory. Now we're more than double just in 3 months. We're at 7.2 months of inventory. That was York Region. Here's Peel Region condos. 33 were sold. One of those was priced at sold at $1 million or more. Average sold price down from the previous week. It's now sitting at $600,000. Peel Region condos is, it's really tough to kind of figure out what's going on here. Overall, we were saying, yeah, prices are trending down. But over the last few weeks, the last month and a half, kind of looks like prices are trending up. Although they're way down this week to 600,000, kind of look like prices are going up. Overall, prices are much lower, but for a few weeks there, looks like we were seeing some gains. 600,000 is 11% lower year over year. The median price is 16% lower. 33 were sold, 18%, not very many, but 18% sold at list price or more. Listings up quite a bit from the previous week. That's a pattern we've been seeing, I was saying. Active listings has been trending up. There are 863 available condos for sale, and months of inventory sitting at 6 months of inventory. That number has been trending upwards. Here's a quick summary. 5 months of inventory to 3 months below 5, we would say is a balanced market. We are north of 5 months of inventory in each of these categories. Pretty much a balanced market wherever you look when it comes to condos. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.